And I guess before we get started, I'll just, I'm Travis from HL Flake and Banner. I don't know if you hear that ringing, but it'll stop here in a second. Just wanted to mention that if anybody has not registered or not tried to register on the Banner site yet, if you run into any issues, please feel free to reach out to us. There's a whole team of people that are helping everybody get transferred over from the HL Flake site to the Banner site. So you could start by using the chat that's on the Banner site, or you could just email us your account number and let us know what issues you're having. We'll get back with you and help through that process. So, yeah, I mean, now that we're a month out, most people I've talked to are smooth sailing. So, and we just recently added the TopDon products to the Banner site, and actually, as of today, just added more information on the equipment as well as images. So, and that's it. Oh, one last thing. If you guys are familiar with the in-person trade show that we've done in the past, we are planning to do a trade show in Houston, March 24th through 26th. So mark that down on your calendars. We are planning on getting back to doing an actual in-person event with 2 days of classes and then the trade show on that Saturday.
Am I invited to that?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I think we have a classroom for you.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, you and I need to talk about it, but we've been just finalizing the date with the hotel, but things, we have the green light, things are looking good. So
awesome. Yes, Chris, I agree. It's good to have in-person trainings again. It's a whole different animal when you're starting to actually get to talk face to face and shake people's hands.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you guys take it from here.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, thanks everybody. We appreciate you taking some time out to learn a little bit more about the TopDon product. My name is Chad Schnitz. I am the Vice President of TopDon USA. That means that I do whatever it takes to make sure that you guys have the proper tools to be able to do what you need to do to make money in the market. We're going to focus on 3 specific tools today, and I'm actually going to throw a little bit more in there just so you know they exist. However, the new Banner site, they have done a phenomenal job of adding all of the TopDon products on there. So it's a great time to go on there, and you can click on products and select TopDon as a vendor, and all of our products we listed there. And the images are getting loaded up as we speak. So there's a lot of great stuff on there, way more than what we're going to talk about here today. But I wanted to focus on some of the specific products that I see that maybe locksmiths didn't know about, didn't think about, and maybe tools in the past where you said, oh, I don't do that kind of stuff, so why would I need it? So we're going to kind of focus on those products and give you some other options in the market. So if you're not familiar with the name TopDon, we are a relatively new company to the US, but we're not a new company to the world. So we are an automotive diagnostics manufacturer of tools. We do tools for automotive diagnostics, key programming, thermal imaging, tire pressure, calibration, and much, much more. So we are an up-and-coming company, and that has a lot of lineage that we're just now breaking into the US market to start making a big impact there. So the 3 tools we're going to talk about today are going to be the Phoenix Pro. This is the X-Prog3 and then a thermal imaging camera. And I picked these products specifically because as I'm at the trade shows, I get the most questions on these 3 products. And it really fits into to what you guys do every day out on the street when it comes to programming keys, working on automotive or others. Some of the other things that you guys may do. So when we're talking about tools, we're going to start with the Phoenix Pro. And this whole program is all about making sure that you don't put yourself into a corner. I called it unforced errors. And and making sure that you're doing the right things to cover you behind is really what it all comes down to. And we're going to go through the products that can help us do that, and to know before you go. I'm a Boy Scout. My son is in Cub Scouts. He's about to be a Boy Scout. And the motto is always be prepared. And we want to know before we go. And what do I mean by that? I mean, we want to know what we're getting into before we start throwing keys at a car. The good old days of cutting a key, just a blade key, sticking it in and firing at the car, it's pretty much by the wayside. We have so many computers and modules that are involved in our modern security systems and immobilizer systems that we can't just go in and throw a key at it. It's been many times where I'm sure with you guys and with me, I've been called out to say, hey, my car doesn't start, it needs a new key. Well, okay, there's a whole lot of things that can make a car not start besides just a key or an immobilizer system or a security system. So we are starting to see the locksmith industry in the profession expand way beyond just that cutting keys. We need to know systems and immobilizer systems and how those systems work and how they interact. So when I say we need to know before we go, we need to be able to go in and read the codes. We need to see what the computer sees so we know what we're getting into. And the reason that I talk about scanning for codes, because I get a lot of pushback on that. Oh, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a technician. Well, think about this. We had a customer call our tech support line, just cussing us up and down, telling us how worthless we were because our tool didn't work. And we're like, whoa, hold on a second, sir. Let's work through this. Let me understand what you got going on. He says, I'm programming keys to a Toyota, and I'm just trying to add a key, and it won't let me add a key. And your stupid tool won't work. So he said, okay, well, let's go through the process. Mr. Customer, have you scanned for codes? Do you know what the car is seeing? He said, no, the check engine light's not on. Why would I need to scan for codes? Well, we worked him through the process. Hey, let's scan for codes first. So we scanned for codes on that vehicle and found out that this Toyota had a code for a bad antenna. And if you read through the OE information on this vehicle, if you have a bad antenna code, the car will not relearn keys because it doesn't have all the antennas to be able to signal. So we figured out that, hey, if you would have just gone in there and scanned for codes first, you would know that you have a problem before you even get there. We can do a complete health scan of this vehicle. We can scan all modules. And the reason it's important to scan all modules is because our security is no longer just in the instrument cluster. It's not just in the body control module. Some vehicles have the security accessed throughout all the different modules. I have one vehicle that I can think of in particular has security in 6 different modules. So you have to scan all these modules to make sure that there's a communication going on between all these modules. So we need to be able to do a complete health scan of that vehicle. We may also need to be able to see live data. My neighbor has a tow yard, and he wanted me to come over and program keys. So I went over to program keys, and it's on a Chevy Cruze. And I went through the programming session, and I said, it's going to fail every time. I can't program these keys. And he said, well, why? I said, I have to open up the driver's door. It requires that the computer see that the driver's door switch opens and closes. I said, the door's all smashed in. I can't program keys to this. I said, you put a new door on it, or at least get the door open so I can actuate that switch, and then we can program keys for it. So he goes through the process of putting this new door on it. I can put the scan tool on it, operate the switch, and make sure that the car can see the body control module says door locked, door unlocked, door open, door closed. So I can verify that with the scan tool. And I'm going to show you that process as we move forward. We can also set our customizations. And this is a little bit out of the locksmith world, but I wanted to show you this because if you have a customer that's saying, hey, I appreciate you programming my keys, but I would really like it when I unlock the doors if all the lights would come on. I've actually had a customer ask me, he said, hey, I want you to not let the lights come on. Whenever I unlock my doors, I want the lights to stay off. I said, sure, no problem. I can do that through customization. And it was on a Toyota and specifically, but After I got done doing it, I verified and I asked him, I said, I don't understand why do you want me to do this? And he said, well, my wife works at the mall and she gets out late. And we don't want someone to see her car light up while she's walking towards it. We want that to be dark so that they don't, see her and potentially become a victim. Okay, that makes sense. So we can use these tools to be able to set customizations like that. And we can also do active tests. Active tests means that anything the computer can control, I can control. So that means that I can turn stuff on and off. I can roll the windows up and down. I can honk the forward flashlights. And that is something you probably won't use every day, but remember, you can do that on your own stuff as well. So even if you're doing it at home, if you're doing oil life resets, change your brake pads, something like that. These tools can do that for you. So why all these things? Why all these things that have nothing to do with keys? Well, it all comes down to CYA, right? Cover your backside. Because you've seen it, I've seen it, we've all spent the money where we go in to do a job and we can't complete the job and we have 2 hours on it because of something that we can't control. If we go in there and we work on the car, anything that happens to that car within the next week, it's your fault. It's your fault because you touched it last. Even if it had nothing to do with you, it's your fault. So this gives us the ability to check before we go and also to communicate with the customer before we do anything to the car. And I'll show you that. So what we're going to do is from our main screen of the diagnostic tool, and this plugs into your OBD2 port just like any other tool would. So from the main screen of the diagnostic tool, we're going to select Intelligent Diagnostics. Intelligent Diagnostics just means that it's going to do all the work for you. It's going to go in and it's going to start talking to the car. It's going to read the VIN number and it's going to decode that VIN number. It's going to pull all the information out. So this particular one, you can see that it decoded it as a 91 to 2021 Chevy truck. It's close. It's a 2021 truck. So it did grab the VIN and it did decode that it was a GM, but it has some other questions to be able to decipher. So it's going to ask us some of those questions. But we're going to go ahead and click Diagnostics because that's what we want to do. Now, what I'm suggesting to you is that you do this before anything else you do on this car. You go in and you do an all system scan first. Now, you'll notice a couple of things. This is the complete system diagram for this vehicle. Again, this is a 2021 Chevy truck. So my diagram actually goes off the page. It actually goes down even farther. So each one of these, this is the body control leg. This is the chassis control, ADAS, anything along those lines. So those are all things that we have to think about on that network. So these are all the different systems. So I'm going to point out here, look right up here in this top right corner. Notice that on this tool, it gives us the voltage of that car. Now, I know it's never happened to you guys, but occasionally it comes to me and I have to go out there and this car's been sitting for a while or the car's dead. I mean, I've never been to a body shop that has a dead battery, but we can plug in and we can automatically know, hey, I'm at 9 volts. Ain't no way I'm going to be able to program anything to this car. We need to take the next step to solve this problem. So we can see directly from the tool if we have voltage right there in the top right corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this smart detection. And what that's going to do is that's going to start talking to every module in that vehicle. When we start talking to all these modules, we're going to be able to see what modules are available, what modules communicated, and what modules have issues in them. Now, this is very important if we're talking about a newer vehicle that has security in multiple different modules, or just like I was talking about on that Toyota, being able to see if there's a code for an antenna, an immobilizer ring, or something else that may be causing an issue with that vehicle. So this is a whole lot of information. On this vehicle, you can see that all the ones that are green are normal. I have a code in my amplifier system, and I have a code in my VPCM. I have no idea what a VPCM is. So if we go up here to the top and we select System List, we can toggle that tool over So now we can see all the different systems. So a VPCM is a video processing control module. The amplifier has one code. The VPCM has two codes. So we can see that there is a network communication error code with this vehicle. So what do we do with that information? Why is that important to us when we're programming keys? Because like I said earlier, everything you do from here on out, if you touch that car, it's your fault. So now we can take this up to the customer and we can say, Mr. Customer, I just want to let you know I haven't done anything in this car yet. You have 3 codes in this vehicle that have nothing to do with me. I just want to let you know that. And you can print this out if you wanted to. You can send it to an email. You can have them sign it, whatever you want to do to be able to CYA, to cover yourself, to make sure that the customer understands that these weren't you. Now, if you do set a code and you set an issue or an error, you can go through and clear those specific codes if you wanted to. You don't have to live with those. So this gives you the ability to clear out those specific codes if you want to, and leave the rest of the code. So that's a pretty cool scenario there. So we have all this information. We can present that to the customer and we can show them, hey, this is what's going on. And now they can see that it wasn't you that did that. Also up here at the top, you'll see a button that says common functions. So there's multiple ways to get wherever we want to go in a scan tool. And it's all about flow. It's all about how you want to get there. So we're just going to select common functions. And in here, you can see that we have all kinds of common things that you would use every day as a technician. You guys might not use it every day, but you'll see that we have the oil life reset. So if you have a van that you need to, when you change your own oil, you can do an oil life reset on it. If you replace the battery in a vehicle and you need to do a battery management reset, we can do that right here. If we need to do a gear learn, so let's say the battery was totally dead and the computer lost all of its memory, we can do that gear relearn for the transmission on some vehicles as well. And then there's also the immobilizer and key programming. That's another way to get to the immobilizer and key programming from this tool. So there's quite a few cool things. That's all in common functions. So let's go back to our main screen. So our main diagnostic screen, you'll also see something up here at the top that's called ADAS calibration. I didn't circle it very well, but ADAS calibration. So that stands for Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. Whenever you select that, that's actually going to take you to a second menu, and that is for all the other stuff. That's for the advanced driver calibration. So the front view camera, a video processing module, the side obstacle detection. These are all the cameras that are around the car. I know, I get it. This is not something that you guys would get into. But I also know that there's a lot of mobile guys and a lot of programming techs that have to do locksmith work as well. And this is this is a new revenue stream. This is another avenue for you to make money if that's your gig. If you are a mobile diagnostics guy, you do module programming, you do key programming, ADAS calibration may be the next big thing for you, to be able to recalibrate when a windshield is replaced, or to recalibrate the radar sensors whenever a bumper cover is taken off. So I just want to let you guys know that it exists. If you're looking for another revenue stream, you're already going to dealerships, you're already going to body shops, this potentially could be another revenue stream for you getting into ADAS calibration. If it's something that you're considering, I would love to talk to you about it. It's a great way to make a bunch of extra money, honestly. So that's ADAS calibration. That is something that you can do as well to add to your services as you're out in the field. So back on the main screen of the tool, you'll see a button that says Reset Procedures. So Reset Procedures is kind of like a quick access button. It gives you the ability to do your maintenance functions like oil life reset. If you have a diesel van that you drive, I have a lot of guys that don't get enough miles on their vehicle, or it idles a lot, and they have to do a diesel particulate filter regen. So this tool can force that vehicle into regen as well. And we can do that by going into the reset procedure. So let's go ahead and select in there, and you'll see all the different reset procedures. We have our coolant bleeds, we have our EGRs, we have throttle learns, all kinds of stuff that you may never use as a locksmith, but just letting you know it's there. It's there as an option if you wanted to do that. But the one I wanted to point out here is the Immobilizer Reset. So this is a quick and dirty way to be able to get into the Immobilizer functions of this tool. Whenever we select Immobilizer Reset or any of these, it's going to give you the latest update that we've done on the tool. It's going to tell you what's new, what's been optimized, what the software includes. Any of that information is going to be there. A lot of times it's just generic stuff. Hey, we fixed this, we fixed that, because we are constantly updating these tools. When I say constantly, I mean like every week there are updates available for this tool, and this tool updates via Wi-Fi. If you have a Wi-Fi signal, you push the update button and you download all the updates. And you can do the updates as many times as you want to. There is no limit. When you purchase this tool, it comes with 2 years of updates and 2 years of warranty. Whenever you update the tool, let's say after that 2 years, you buy another update extension, it also extends your warranty. So as long as you're under update contract, you're under warranty, which is a pretty cool offering as well. So from this screen, you'll see that we have a button down here at the bottom that is called vehicle coverage. So this is a great way to go in, and if somebody's calling you and bugging you, asking if you can do a car, and you don't know if you can or not, you can click on vehicle coverage, and it will take you into Immobilizer, and it will tell you what this tool can or cannot do when it comes to diagnostics or when it comes to Immobilizer. Either way, so you have the option with that you can see what you can and cannot do right from the tool. You don't need to go on to your PC. You can do this right from the tool. It does require internet access. All right, so let's jump into a different car. So I showed you a 2021 that has a bazillion different stinking modules in it. So let's take something a little bit more of a classic, right? This is a 2007 Toyota 4Runner. And you can see here that our coverage covers from 94 to 2021. And that coverage is diagnostics, not necessarily key programming. So that's two totally separate worlds. So don't take that out of context. We can scan these vehicles all the way back. Most of the time in the US, it goes back to 96. We do have some OBD1 connectors for those 94s, but don't bank on that if you need to do that. But you can see from the auto detect that we were able to pull the 2007 Toyota 4Runner, what engine it is, the liter size, and the VIN number. And all that information can be saved, screenshotted, however you want to do it. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select diagnostics, and we're going to jump right into this module. So Chris has a question right here. He says, after 2-year download service plan has ended, does the Phoenix become a brick if we don't purchase a download extension? I wouldn't do that to you. Chris, I like you too much. And if you buy a tool that becomes a brick after it's expired, I wouldn't recommend that tool. No, the tool will continue to work at the level that it is at after it expires. Now, you may lose some functionality because some of our functionality is server-based, like our online programming is server-based. Some of our key programming needs to do calculations that's server-based. So you'll lose that server functionality, but the tool will still continue to work at the level that it's at. Thank you, Chris. Great question. And then Mark asked, what TopDon products do key programming? Do the Phoenix Pro and Ninja, any others? And I'm going to get into that here in a little bit, but any of the Phoenix tools have basic key programming on them. And then I'm going to show you a tool called the X-Prog that we can add to any of the Phoenix line of tools to add key programming to them. So this tool is a growing tool. It adds more modules, more functionality to them. So yes, you can add key programming to any of these tools and be able to do even the European stuff that I'll show you here in just a second. So let's look at this system scan of this 2007 Toyota 4Runner. You can see that we have a whole lot less modules when it comes to this system. We have 3, 5, 6, 7, only 7 modules on this one, where the truck had like 30. But you can see the same thing. We can see our codes, and we can see our ECM has 4 codes in it. Well, we want to make sure we know what those are. So make sure that you click on system list, or you can click on ECM by itself, and that will give you a description of those codes. So once we get into that, we can do lots of things. So if we select let's say Immobilizer, right? IMMO. Let's go into the Immobilizer module. And we'll see that we can do all these different things inside that Immobilizer module. We can read the fault codes. We can see data stream. We can do special functions and active tests. So let's go into data stream first. Let's see what data stream gives us and what we can see. So remember that that Chevy that I was talking about that has to be able to open the door. We want to see if the computer can see if the door is open. We can do that with our live data. We can see that our antenna coil status is normal on this vehicle. We can see that my ignition switch is in the on position right now. We can cycle the ignition off and see if it's in the off position. We can see that the computer sees that it's going on and off. So example, let's go into, we put the key in, we program it, we click it, and nothing happens. Crap. Now what do we do? Well, we can go into the live data and we can look at the ignition switch and we can see, oh, ignition switch is not moving. We turn it on and we turn it on harder and it doesn't move. Okay, we know we need an ignition switch because it's not getting that signal back and forth. We can see that the immobilizer is set, so it is good. It's accepting the key that's in there. We can see that the key in there is not a master key, so it's unregistered. And is it permitted to start? Yes. Is it? If it says no, okay. Now we got something else to figure out. Why is it not permitted to start? What else do we need to do? So that gives us the ability to see all that live information. And you'll notice over here on the side, that's graphing. So if we are looking at numbers, if we're looking at voltage or pressure or something like that, we can graph that information out. These were all yes, no questions. So it doesn't really give you the ability to graph that kind of information. So it is there if you wanted it. All right, back to our main screen here. So we'll go into special functions. Let's go into special functions. When we do that, you'll see that we have a lot more information. If we're doing an immobilizer, we can do all keys lost, and this one is particular called all keys missing. Registration, transponder code, all kinds of information is there. But what I want to show you here is customization. So let's go into customization. This is what I was talking about before, where, hey, I want my lights to be turned off whenever I push the remote fob and unlock my car. I don't want the lights on. When I lock the door, I don't want the horn to honk. Whenever I am driving down the road, I don't want my headlights to turn on, just my daytime running lights. All kinds of crazy stuff that you can do. So this is a 2007 Toyota 4Runner again. So these are all the things that we can do. We can do warning lights. We can do light control, door locks. So door locks is an example is if you push the button once, it only unlocks the driver's door. If you push the button twice, it unlocks all doors. I don't like that. I think it's annoying. So I set mine up for where you push it once and it unlocks all the doors. That way the kids aren't trying to rip the handle off the car. Power window, that's going to be the auto down if you like the auto down. If you don't like the auto down, you can turn that on and off. So all kinds of stuff you can do. We're going to go into illumination entry or illuminated entry. So this is where we can illuminate when the accessory is off, the lights timing. So this is where you turn the vehicle off. This is how long do the lights stay on. Illuminate with unlock. This is the one that that young lady didn't want to have on. So I would switch that to the off position. So we can do all that kind of stuff through customization. Now, can you do that through every car? No. Some manufacturers don't like you to do that. Some manufacturers do. This one happens to be on a Toyota, and Toyota is really good about giving us the option to do that kind of stuff. So let's jump right into the key programming side. So this is called the X-Prog3. And I noticed at the top here, I said, well, what about Euro? Because on a lot of these Euro cars, we have to EEPROM, we have to use an IR key, we have to do crazy stuff, we have to yank modules out, instrument clusters, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So the Phoenix Pro and actually all the Phoenix line, I'm going to say they're okay at key programming when it comes to Asian domestic. They're okay. It's not everything, and I'm going to show you a solution for that, but it's okay. But here's where this tool really shines, is adding the X-Prog3 to that to be able to add your European coverage or European functions. So this tool comes in a couple different colors depending on when we produced it. So don't get freaked out if you get it in red or if you get it in gray. don't worry about it. It's okay. It doesn't mean old generation, new generation. So it does come in a couple of different colors. I'll just tell you that. But you'll notice what comes in this tool. You do have your in-circuit and out-of-circuit boards. You do have your power supplies. You have all your connectors to be able to connect to the PCM or the module you're trying to connect to. These two right here, these are kind of special, and I was pretty happy about this whenever this came out. This is the instrument cluster connection for your Volkswagens to be able to pull all your data directly from the instrument cluster, which is pretty freaking awesome. So those are included in the kit. So a lot of good components in there. But let's talk about coverage. What does it mean? What does the coverage mean? And I'm going to leave a lot of this to you guys to interpret, because as soon as you start talking all these crazy numbers, it's not me. That's not my forte. But I'll give you the data and you can decide the coverage of it, because this just keeps getting better and better and expanding more and more. So so we do have the bins infrared slot, the chip hole, you can see that there, infrared, the chip hole, the locking device, all kinds of things you need for EEPROM, in circuit, out of circuit, all that good stuff is built into this one tool. So what you'll notice is if you have a Phoenix Pro or any of our Phoenix line, and you go into Immobilizer, let's say on a BMW, you're going to get this screen. So most of the time on Asian domestic cars, you don't need anything extra. You don't need to plug anything else in. But if you plug into a European car, you may get this screen. And this is telling you, hey, we need extra stuff. We need extra hardware. We need an X-Prog3. So the way that we connect to the vehicle and connect to the tool is the VCI goes into a split cable. This goes into the car. And then this goes into the X-Prog3 to be able to program those vehicles. And it'll tell you, the tool will tell you, hey, we're going to need that big guy. Go ahead and get that and plug it in. So that's how we can program keys via OBD2. Now, if we need to program keys by removing the chip, we have that covered as well. So you can take your chip and you can put it directly into the ZIF socket, EEPROM socket, to be able to pull the EEPROM information directly from that vehicle. So again, same idea. The tool is going to walk you through that process. The tool is going to give you step by step. It's going to give you images and help you through that process. Jay asks, how do I navigate to VW instrument cluster with the adapter on the tool? So same thing. You're going to go into the Immobilizer option, whether it be through the quick reset, or once you get into a vehicle, it's going to say Immobilizer at the top. That's how you would get into that process. Then you just follow the prompts through. So I'm going to be honest with you, JS, I've not done Volkswagen yet because I'm not that good. So, and I live in the country. Nobody drives a Volkswagen. They drive trucks. So the instructions are in the tool. Just go to Immobilizer and then follow the prompts, and it'll ask you if you want to connect at the cluster or via OBD2. It'll go through that process for you. So let's say that we need to solder that directly to the board. We need to pull that chip out and we need to solder it directly to it. We got the boards built in for that as well. So those are all in the kit, as you saw at the beginning. So all of the pieces and parts you need to be able to do that are there. So this is our supported coverage currently. So we're looking at Volkswagen, Audi Group, BMW, Mercedes, Toyota, and more. And this is always adding more and more. We focused on the most popular European cars first. There's some Land Rover, Jaguar stuff in there as well. And there's plenty more coming. And we're releasing updates all the time on this tool. So if you're not part of the TopDon group as far as getting all the mailers, make sure you do that. You can sign up for that at topdon.us as well. So we do more than key programming for you mobile guys as well. We do engine systems, automatic transmission, instrument cluster, cast systems, and lock systems. All that stuff is good. So you'll notice down here at the bottom, this one I just got from one of my locksmiths that he was just absolutely tickle pink. So he has this this Continental module, and he programmed or plugged into it as directed by the tool. And he said he got the code out in 20 seconds. It took him 20 seconds. Once hooked up, it pulled the information out that he needed to be able to get this car back on the road. So pretty cool process. He's been very happy with the calculation speed of all the Mercedes stuff and the BMW stuff as well. We've been able to calculate those passcodes very quickly and get the customers back on the road. We know time is money. So this is a great tool for that if you're looking to fill that void in your tool coverage. All right, so here's all the functions that we can do with this tool. So of course, EEPROM, Mercedes-Benz infrared keys. Can it do FBS4? I'm amazed you haven't asked me that. No tool can do FBS4. So not yet. I'll just leave it right there. So Mercedes-Benz keys, Volkswagen via dump mode. So anytime it says dump mode, that means that we are not going through the OBD2 port. That means that we are either connecting directly to the instrument cluster or we are connecting to a circuit or something along those lines. That's what dump mode means. Same thing, bench mode means that we are connecting directly to the module on the bench. There's another 4th generation Immobilizer, all keys lost, gearbox data. A lot of times we need that on Mercedes so we can pull the gearbox data out. ISN codes, CAS4, all the good CAS stuff. So that's going to be your basic coverage. If you need a specific coverage list, let me know. Shoot me an email. I'm happy to send that to you. You can put a request in through the support team at TopDon, support@topdon.us. We'd be happy to get you that information as well. So I mentioned that the Asian domestic is okay. It's pretty good. It's not bad, but there's a better option. There's a better option when it comes to our Asian domestic coverage, and that better option is in our T Ninja. So this is the Ninja Key Programmer is crazy good for the price point. This tool here is going to be focused on our Asian domestic. So it's going to be able to read pin codes, it's going to do all keys lost, add keys, erase keys. Easy to follow steps, and it's fast and simple. If you have an apprentice that is just getting to learn, just getting to know the key programming process, this is the perfect tool for them because it walks them through that. Now, sure, you can go through the whole process. What kind of key is it? It's an HW9 or whatever. Or you can let the tool do all the hard work. So I have a friend that does mobile diagnostics, mobile key programming, ADOS calibrations, all that. He said this tool is phenomenal because it's just so fast. So it's not Android. This one actually happens to be on a Linux platform. And it doesn't have a battery. It doesn't have internet connection. It doesn't have any of those crazy, stupid stuff. So you plug it in, and click, 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 go, and you're on to the next one. I have a guy that was doing Chrysler keys, and he had 3 of them done in like 15 minutes. Just because it pulled the pin so fast. It just goes through the process. Wham, bam, you're done. None of the frills. You don't have to go through tons of menus to get there. So very quick and very easy tool to use. And you remember that I said I didn't have any internet connection needed on this tool? It requires 0 internet connection, 0 server access. So if you're working on a car and you don't have server access, this is the tool to go to because it doesn't require it. You have to plug it into a PC to be able to update it. There is no internet on it, so which also makes it very robust. It doesn't have a whole lot of stuff going on in the background that slows it down or that gets in the way. So what does a tool like that cost? Well, this guy right now on promotion on the Banner website is $4.99. So $500 to be able to get a tool that does Asian domestic coverage, and that coverage list is again on the website, and we just added more coverage to that. We just released another update. So this one is growing. This one's happening all the time. So I have an engineer in my office in New Jersey that this is his life. If you call me and say, or shoot me a message or call support and say, hey, it says it does this key and it doesn't do that key, we will log that. We will kick his butt out the door and make him go find that car so we can figure out what's going on so we can fix it for you. So our turnaround is pretty quick on that one. So this is the T Ninja. This one is $500. It's, like I said, it's a fantastic tool. So I mentioned my neighbor before that has a tow yard. He is a great tow truck operator, and he's a great fabricator. He is not a great mechanic. He doesn't get it. He doesn't know. So I was going out of town. He was like, "Would I need to program keys to this Ford?" I was like, "Dude, I don't know. Here." I left him the tool. I didn't tell him anything. First time he'd ever seen it. less than the Ninja. And it's like 15 minutes. I was driving through the airport, and he calls me and says, hey, I got the keys program, the car runs. Oh, and I got the door code off the door to be able to unlock it from the outside. I didn't tell him anything. He plugged it in, figured it all out himself. So very, very simple, easy to use tool. So does the Ninja offer more than the Pro? So the Ninja is only key programming when it comes to key programming Asian domestic. Does it offer more key programming than the Pro? The answer to that is yes, it does. The Pro is, they really focus that on the European coverage and Volkswagen and such. So my dream scenario is that you have a Phoenix Pro, you have an X-Prog3, and you have the Ninja. That's the ultimate combination. And that ultimate combination, I can tell you, is under $4,000. I'm not supposed to tell you that, but I know it's under $4,000 for that combination. So that gives you full diagnostics, and it gives you the online programming that the Phoenix Pro offers. Can the X-Prog be added to the Ninja? No. Those are two totally separate tools, so it cannot be added to the Ninja. It does have to have one of our Phoenix tools. It has to have a Phoenix, Phoenix Lite, Phoenix Pro, Phoenix Plus, Elite, Max, all those. So it does have to be on a Phoenix tool. All right, so those are the need-to-have tools. You need to have a Pro. You need to have an X-Prog. You need to have a Ninja. It's just a need-to-have. Here is a want-to-have. And it's silly. It's silly, but it's one of those things you go, that really saved my bacon. And that is a thermal imaging camera. And it senses heat, and it displays it on, it senses heat or cold and displays it on a screen. So we can see by pointing this at electrical, at a PCM, at an air duct, at a window in your house, you can see if there is heat transfer or heat radiating off of that tool or off of that device. I use this all the time for electrical work, especially for voltage draws or to see if a module is on or staying on. So this tool is called the ITC629. This is in stock at Banner right now. You can see that it has the ability to not only see thermally, but there's also a normal camera in there, like your cell phone camera, and you can lay those on top of each other so you can see thermal and normal on top of each other. And I'll show you a slide of that as well. But we can sense hot or cold spots. We can sense what is using electricity, what is not using electricity. We can see leaks in a tire. We can see brake caliper that is stuck or being stuck on or held on. We can look through a building, and we can see where insulation is not. So if they forgot insulation, it's going to be colder there and hotter where there is insulation. So all kinds of things that we can see with the thermal imaging camera. And it's one of those things, again, that you just never know you need it until you need it, and then it saves your butt. So we do have multiple color scales with that, depending on what you're looking at. If it has a reflectivity to it, or emissivity, I think is what it's called. So we can see that through the camera as well. And here are some cool images that you can see. We can see what's conducting heat. So this one up here in the top, this one are lights or vents. You can see that it's cold here in the middle, and then it's hot all around it. So we can see where airflow is coming through. We can see this wire right here has high resistance right there in that elbow. So we can use that for all kinds of crazy stuff. So again, this is a cool tool. It's a nice want. But I think I might have a great way to help you guys get that as well. So if you haven't been on to the Banner website lately, I definitely highly recommend going on there. Again, I mentioned all of my TopDon products are on there. They've loaded everything up. They're loading the images right now. And if you go to the HL Flake YouTube channel, those beautiful hands right there, that is Mr. Bruce Horn right there. He's doing an unboxing video for you. And they are working on some more videos of all these products as well. So make sure that you jump in there and check out all the products and look at everything that is offered. All right. I got a question here. He says, I've had my T-Ninja 1000 for less than a month. It's easy to use. So yeah, and you found a couple glitches, and we want to know that stuff. If you find glitches, we want to know. One of the things that's really cool about that T-Ninja is it's always logging. So whenever you do an update, it sends that information back to us and lets us know what was successful and what was not successful. So that tool is a growing and evolving tool for that less expensive. So how much is the IR camera? So the IR camera is, I have no idea. Let's go find out. I don't have everything memorized yet. All right, so let's go to, I'm going to tell you retails. I'm not going to tell you what it is on the banner site. You're going to have to go look at that for yourself. The thermal imaging camera, you're looking at less than 500 bucks. I'm showing about 470 on the thermal imaging camera. But, oh, by the way, there's a way to get it for free. If you wanted to get the thermal imaging camera for free, I can tell you how to do it. Right now, Banner has a promotion going on that if you buy the Phoenix Pro, they will give you the ITC629 for free. Bruce, did I say that right? Did I lie to anybody? So you get a free tool when you buy the Phoenix Pro right now. So you get that for free.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you now.
Okay. Yeah, my mic was muted. I want to say that is, we were looking at doing the X-Prog3 and the Phoenix Pro, but I want to say that Travis said yes. The Phoenix Pro, you'll get the imaging camera for free.
I appreciate your confidence there, Bruce.
Yeah,
so yes,
hey, it's been a long week.
Earlier.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, so when you purchase the Phoenix Pro, you get the thermal imaging camera for free. So let's go have a little fun here. Let's go to bannersolutions.com. Let's go ahead and slow that right up here so you can see what I'm looking at. And we'll get rid of my drawing here. All right, so we're going to, let me. X. You guys can throw any questions you got into that box right there. I am happy to answer them for you. So we are looking at the Phoenix Pro. So you'll see we have a Phoenix Elite, Phoenix Lite, Phoenix Max. Those two are coming. The Phoenix Elite is out. The Phoenix Max is coming. Phoenix Pro, right there it is. So you buy a Phoenix Pro, $32.95. You get 2 years of updates, 2 years of warranty, and you get the thermal imaging camera at no charge. So you get all that into one package. So let's say that you wanted to add, let's say you wanted to add that X-Prog. Let's see if they, see if I can find it. I love these little boxes here on the side. It makes life so much better. So we can type in brands, TopDon. X-Prog3, less than 800 bucks. So you get 3 tools and for what, for $4 grand? Not too shabby. And then if you want to add the Ninja to it, you can do that as well. All right, so I have an ArtiPad 1. What's the difference between the Phoenix Pro? Okay, so now we're getting into a little bit of tool-specific differences. So the ArtiPad is a smaller diagnostic tool. It's like a handheld tool. When it comes to functionality, all of our tools are the same. On the base of diagnostics, all the Phoenix line is the same. So the biggest difference between an ArtiPad, which is also the same thing as our Phoenix Lite, and the Pro is that the Pro offers programming, online programming. So our server-based programming for BMW, Mercedes-Benz, SC encoding, and more are all on the Phoenix Pro, which the ArtiPad does not have. Now you can add the X-Prog to the ArtiPad as well, so that is an option. But as far as diagnostics go, they're the same. The Phoenix Pro is going to have a bigger battery, so it's going to last a lot longer throughout the day, and it's also going to have a much bigger screen, a 13-inch versus a 9-inch screen, I think it is. So a much bigger screen on the difference on those. questions, comments, concerns? Awesome. So thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of it. I'm going to hang out here for a little bit and answer any questions. So feel free to hang out in the chat box, and we'll answer any of those questions that may come across. But thank you very much, and we hope to see you soon, especially in March at the show, March 24th and 26th. Make sure you come to the training because we will be there. Let's see here. Does the T-Ninja 1000 need to be connected to USB to transfer the logs? So there are two ways to update the tool. You can put the SD card directly into your PC, or you can do it through the USB. Either way, updating and transfer of the logs automatically happens. I'm a big fan of not using the USB cable and just taking the SD card out and putting it in the computer. It seems to cause less concerns with my computer, so that's the easiest way that I have found to do the updates and the log transfer. Again, it does it automatically, so you don't have to do that. So Chris has a question. Does the Phoenix Pro offer the ability to perform diagnostics and key programming on late model Toyotas? Those that require a Toyota Tech ID pin, no, not yet. So Toyota is something that we're working on. I know what you're talking about, where you have to take the in and out codes and then you have to put it on to the website and go through that whole process. So currently, no, we are not doing anything on the new Toyotas that are that advanced. We are not at that point yet. The Ninja would definitely not be able to do that, and the Phoenix Pro would be the tablet to be able to do that, but currently it's not at that level yet. Everybody's looking for a Toyota solution. Everybody's looking for a Toyota solution and a FBS4 solution. I don't have that yet. If I don't update, is there any other way to let support know that there is an issue with the Ninja? Yes. So you can call us, our support team. You can email the support team, or you can also file a support ticket. The challenge with that is it's like playing a game of Pictionary over the phone. Just because you tell us it doesn't work doesn't tell us why it doesn't work. So whenever you plug in the tool to do the update and send the logs, now we know why it didn't work. The logs come in and we can see all the code on the backside. We can see everything that's going on. So we know where it broke down. We know to what level it got to. It's very hard to duplicate what you're telling us just verbally over the phone. But if you just tell us that, hey, it didn't work, and here's some different reasons why I think it didn't work, and then send us the log, we can do a much, much better job of fixing that solution or finding the issue to be able to correct it. So you can tell us, but it doesn't give us the ability to fix it unless we have that car in front of us and we can replicate what you're telling us. Yeah, so the Ninja doesn't have Wi-Fi to keep the cost down is really the biggest reason. To add Wi-Fi was a little bit more expensive. To add a battery is a little bit more expensive. Our next generation, we're looking at having Wi-Fi built into it, but then again, it's going to cost a little bit more money. So yes, I agree. But it's pretty easy to update, just plugging it in and going. I usually recommend at least updating it once a month just to get the newest, latest, and greatest. We just had a release on the Ninja to be able to add even more functionality to it. So definitely get on our mailing list and check that out to be able to see all that new stuff. Marty wants to know about the next gen Ninja. I can neither confirm nor deny that it would probably be March, April, May, something like that. It's going to be, it's going to have basic diagnostics and key programming in it. But we're still a little bit of ways away from that one. It'll also be wireless. So Chris says, I run a Smart Pro daily. Oh, I'm sorry. Phenomenal tool, super expensive to operate. Great tool, expensive. I run a Smart Pro daily, and I'm curious how the Phoenix or Ninja compares as far as functionality and key programming. Do you have a comparison chart? No. So we will never build a comparison chart versus a competitor. And the reason we don't do that is because as soon as we produce it, it's wrong. As soon as competitor does an update, our sheet is wrong. So, well, you'll never see us doing that. What I see a lot of people do is the Smart Pro is a phenomenal tool to have. It's a must-have for every locksmith. Absolutely. They make that their last pick because you're burning tokens every time you touch it. So what a lot of people will do is they'll use the Ninja because it's token free. Use it as many times as you want to on all the normal stuff, all the quick and easy, all the ins and outs. Just burn through them, and then you get something that's more advanced that we're not able to do. Okay, then go use a token. But as far as comparison chart goes, you would be on your own to be able to do that. I cannot give that information to you. Ninja, does it have voltage on the screen? No, it does not. So the Ninja does not display voltage on the screen. I don't think. Oh, see, now you got me questioning myself. I don't think it does. Let's go find out. See, now you're making me think, and I don't like that. Anybody have a Ninja that can tell me if the voltage is on the screen or not?
I don't think it does, Chad. I've used it a few times.
I don't think it does either. I'm going to say no to that one. That will be on our next version for sure. Okay. Oh, okay. So you were talking about, oh, sorry. So you were talking about the RD pad, the big dude in blue versus the Pro. Exactly the same tool, different case color, exactly the same thing. So there is no difference between the RD pad, the big monster blue guy, and the Pro. They're exactly the same tool, just a different case. Thank you, Marty, for testing me. I appreciate it. You realize how late it is for me? It's almost my bedtime. I'm old. Chris says, if you purchase the software through the T-code and utilize AD's trade-in program, all purchased software is available for use for free. I don't know that many people did that, Chris, but I appreciate that. I still think it's an expensive tool to use. Let's see here. Any other questions you guys got? Thanks, Chris. Yeah, if you guys want to see anything else, I mean, I got time. I'll show you whatever you want to see. We got a lot of new stuff coming out. We got battery testers. So if you want to check your batteries on your vehicles or on the vehicles you're testing or programming, we got battery testers. The thermal imaging camera has been a cool one. We got jump packs as well. If you see a lot of dead cars after you program the key and that just won't crank over, you can throw a jump pack on it and jumpstart the vehicle. We have OBD2 code readers. All this stuff is loaded onto the Banner website, so definitely click on TopDon as a brand and start just kind of sifting through everything and see what we got. How is the TopDon compared to token-based machines? When it comes to token-based machines, really the only one that I think of is the Smart Pro. If I was to compare the Ninja to a tool, I would compare it to an iKey 820 or an Autech. The Autech has become very expensive now because you have to add the additional software packages onto it just to get to the level of the Ninja. So now all of a sudden, an Autech is $1,000 versus our Ninja at $499. I don't know how to answer that really well, just because I've never dealt with many of the token-based machines other than the Smart Pro. So I would say check our coverage list and look at it and see if it fills a gap that you have. So Bruce is asking proprietary information that no one is supposed to know about yet, but he is asking about battery maintainers. So we are currently working on a couple of different things. So we have a couple of different battery products, battery chargers. And one of the projects that we are working on is, went the wrong way. It's called a T90,000. So the T90,000 is actually a stable power supply. Cell sheets, this one, And here it is. So this one is called the T90,000. This is a stable power supply that can produce up to 90 amps of continuous voltage up to 15 volts. So 11.5 up to 15 volts. You set the voltage, you set the amperage. So if you are a programmer and you need a stable power supply, this guy will be available late December, early January. It does have a handle on top. It gives you the ability to set your voltage input and output, and it can do 12 and 24 volts. That dude right there is going to be less than 750 bucks, and it does 90 amps continuous, and it does dead. Like, I have no battery, I can hook this up and power a car up to 90 amps to do a programming session. I have a friend in Florida that just had a car that had 1.2 volts in the battery. He slapped this guy on there and did his whole hour-and-a-half programming process with that crap box of a battery in there with no problem. Let's see here. Oh, I missed a question. But yes, this is the T90,000. We also have a less expensive one coming out. If you don't need high amperage, we have what's called the T30,000, and that's going to be a 30 amp machine. That one will have supply voltage, so it'll keep it at 12 volts. 12.5, I think, and it will just maintain voltage throughout that whole process. So the capacitive touchscreen, the T90,000 does not have a capacitive touchscreen. You do have to use the buttons on it to do up and down. It's just an LCD screen is all that is. So it does not have the ability to do touchscreen on it. What is the cost to maintain a Phoenix or a Ninja over the years? So we'll start with the Phoenix. The Phoenix Pro is $795 for 1 additional year of updates. If you buy 2 additional years of updates, it's $1,100 bucks. So for $1,100, you can get 2 years of additional update and 2 years of additional warranty. On the Ninja, it is $249 a year for those updates, and the Ninja is the same way. If you skip a year and you add an update to it, it will backfill everything you've missed and continue to work at the level that it's at. Okay. So the question is, will the next generation Ninja have a touchscreen? Yes, it will. The next generation Ninja will also be on an Android platform as well, and it'll be wireless. This is the JS3000. This is a jump pack. This is a 3,000 amp jump pack. This one connects to the battery, and this has boost mode, which means if I'm connected to a vehicle that's less than 10 volts, most battery jump packs will not operate because they cannot safely detect positive versus negative. So this one, if you push that boost button right here, it'll turn on. It's sending power whether you like it or not. So it'll send 3,000 amps worth of power through those clamps, so it can fire up your diesels and on all your gas. So that's a JS3000. That one is coming. That one is going to be here mid-January is the plan, depending on a boat floating. So that is coming as well. What other cool products should I talk about, Bruce?
You got me.
So this is one of my personal favorites. We call this one a personal generator. So this is called an H200. This is a lithium polymer battery with a pure sine wave inverter built into it. So this is a totally portable lithium powered generator. So you can plug in your 12 volts down here at the bottom, like your air pumps. You can plug in all your USBs to charge them, and you can plug in your 110 volt as well. This will do 250 amp spike and 200 amp continuous, 200 amp watts, 250 watt, 200 watt continuous. This dude here is like 150 bucks. Phenomenal product. So much so that I'm having a hard time keeping it in stock. So we have a whole bunch of them coming. They will be here very soon. So if you're interested in that, you can put those on pre-order as well. When will you release the Phoenix Elite? So the Phoenix Elite is this dude right here. Keeps opening on the wrong screen. There we go. So this is the Phoenix Elite. The Phoenix Elite is available right now. So the Phoenix Elites actually just arrived on Monday. So they are here and they are for sale, and they're about $1,600. It's a pretty killer deal. So the Phoenix Elite is available as of right now. This runs the same style of background that we were talking about with the Phoenix Pro. It's just a little bit smaller. It has a smaller screen, has a little bit smaller battery, so it doesn't have the staying capacity. But this is a phenomenally fast tool. It has all the same things that we talked about, where you can add the X-Prog3 to it. You can add inspection scope, and more. There's the VCI that it comes with. But yeah, all around phenomenal tool. I think it's like $1,600, so it's a pretty good deal. That is on the website, by the way. That is on the banner website. You can purchase it now. Marty wants to prepay for the next generation Ninja. I'll keep you in mind, Marty. No promises on that one. You guys are hanging out, so I'm just gonna keep talking. I don't know what else to talk about though. Humana, jump packs, X-Prog. We went through that. So battery testers, this actually has picked up quite a bit with the locksmith side, especially when you're talking about vehicles that you're starting to work on. You need to know if the battery is any good. So we do have battery testers as well. That gives you the ability to test the battery charging and starting system, and it gives you a printout of that as well. So that's another service that you guys can provide if you decide you want to do that. All right, this is the last one, and then I'm going to go back in, and you guys need to go have dinner. So this is called the RD Diag 800 BT. Let's say that you love everything I talked about, but you go, I already have 17 bazillion tools. I don't need that, Chad. But I kind of like that all system scan. I like to be able to know exactly what I'm getting into. Well, this tool can do that as well. This is called the AD 800 BT. So that stands for Bluetooth. This is basically a service tool, which gives us the ability to scan all systems. So we can scan all systems, reading clear codes in all modules, live data, and graphing. This dude is like $400, a little bit more. But it gives you the ability to do that basic information, that basic scan. No Immobilizer, no adding anything else to it. It's just a basic scan tool to be able to get that information if that's all you need, just being able to read clear codes and do your basic service functions as well. So everyone, thank you very much. I appreciate you joining us today. It has been a pleasure. I am happy to answer any questions. If you need to send those, actually go ahead and just send your questions to Bruce, because he can answer them better than I can. And if he can't answer, I would be happy to do that for you. Our tech support team is always available, support@topdon.us. We're available to help you out if you get stuck. We'll do our very best to get you back up and running and answer any questions that you may have. So from there, I'm going to call it a night. So thank you very much for joining us, and have a great evening. Bruce just put his information in the chat box, so make sure you grab his stuff.
Thank you, Chad. I'll be calling you tomorrow.
All right, thanks for the warning. Appreciate
it. You're welcome anytime.
Paul's asking, where can I get a copy? If you want a copy of this presentation, I will be sending it to Travis. Travis will be able to distribute it as necessary. This will also be posted onto their YouTube channel, I'm sure, very shortly. We'll do a little bit of editing of cutting me out and my silly antics, and then we will post it up so you'll be able to see this and watch it as many times as you want to as well. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Paul, shoot me an email, and I will make sure you get a copy of this.